Uh, Team, can you see my screen?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to day 5 of the current book, The Start with Why. So far, we have completed 4 chapters, and now today we are to the fifth chapter, Clarity, Discipline, and Consistency. So, who wants to start today's session? Who wants to lead first? Please, you put your name in the chat section. Those who want to lead next, who would like to start
I
with?
think, yeah,
Yes, Manish ji, do you want to start?
yeah,
Okay, great. Uh, yeah, please start. Over to you.
okay. Clarity, discipline, and consistency. Nature abhors a vacuum. In order to promote life, Mother Nature attempts to find balance whenever possible. When life is destroyed because of a forest fire, for example, nature will introduce new life to replace it. The existence of a food chain in any ecosystem in which each animal exists as food for another is a way of maintaining balance. The golden circle, grounded in natural principles of biology, obeys the need for balance as well. As I have discussed, when the why is absent, imbalance is produced and manipulations thrive. And when manipulations thrive, uncertainty increases for buyers, instability increases for sellers, and stress increases for all. Starting with why is just the beginning. There is still work to be done before a person or an organization earns the right or ability to inspire. For the golden circle to work, each of the pieces must be in balance and in the right order. Clarity of why. It all starts with clarity. Clarity. You have to know why you do what you do. If people don't buy what you do, then why? So it follows that if you don't know why you do what you do, how will anyone else? If the leader of the organization can't clearly articulate why the organization exists in terms beyond its products or services, then how does he expect the employees to know why to come to work? If a politician can't articulate why she seeks, scroll up please, yeah, why she seeks public office beyond the standard to serve the people, the minimum rational standard for all politicians, then how will the voters know whom to follow? Manipulations can motivate the outcome of an election, but they don't help choose who should lead. To lead requires those who willingly follow. It requires those who believe in something bigger than a single issue. To inspire starts with the clarity of why, discipline of how. Once you know why you do what you do, the question is how will you do it? How how are your values or principles that guide how to bring your cause to life? How we do things, how we do things manifests in the systems and processes within an organization and the culture and the culture. Okay, understanding how you do things, and more importantly, having the discipline to hold the organization and all its employees accountable to those guiding principles enhances an organization's ability to work to its natural strength. Understanding how gives great ability, for example, to hire people or find partners who will naturally thrive when working with you. Ironically, the most important question, abu- elusive answer, why do you do what you do, is actually quite simple and efficient to discover, and I will share it in later chapters. It is the discipline to never veer from your cause, to hold yourself accountable to how you do things. That is the hardest part, making it even more difficult for ourselves. We remind ourselves of our values by writing them on the wall as nouns. Integrity, honesty, innovation, communication, for example. But nouns are not actionable. They are things. You can't build systems or develop incentives around those things. It is impossible to hold people accountable to nouns. Yeah, scroll up, please. Clarity, discipline, and consistency. A little more motivation today, if you would please, Bob. And if you have to write honestly on your wall to remind you to do it, then you probably have bigger problems anyway. For values or guiding principles to be truly effective, they have to be verbs. It is not integrity. It is always do the right thing. It is not innovation. It is look at the problem from a different angle. Articulating our values as verbs gives us a clear idea. We have a clear idea of how to act in any situation. We can hold each other accountable to, to them, measure them, or even build incentives around them. Telling people to have integrity does not guarantee that their decisions will always keep customers or clients' best interest in mind. Telling them to always do the right thing does. I wonder, I I wonder what values Samsung had written on the wall when they developed that rebate that was not applicable to people living in apartment buildings. The Golden Circle offers an explanation for long term success, but the inherent nature of doing things for the long term often includes investments or short term costs. This is the reason the discipline to stay focused on the why and remain true to your values matters so much. Consistency of what? Everything you say and everything you do has to prove what you believe. A why is just a belief. That's all it is. How's are the actions you take to realize that belief? And what are the results of those actions? Everything you say and do, your products, services, marketing, PR, culture, and whom you hire. If people don't buy what you do, but why you do it, then all these things must be consistent. With consistency, people will see and hear without a shadow of a doubt what you believe. After all, we live in a tangible world. The only way people will know what you believe is by the scroll up is by the things you say and do. And if you're not consistent in the things you say and do, no one will know what you believe. It is all the what level that authenticity happens. Authenticity is that word so often bandied about in the corporate and political worlds. Everyone talks about the importance of being authentic. You must be authentic, experts say. All the trend data shows that people prefer to do business with authentic brands. People vote for the authentic candidate. The problem is that instruction is totally unactionable. How do you go into somebody's office and say, from now on, please, a little more authenticity? That marketing piece you are working on. A CEO might instruct, please make it a little more authentic. What do companies do to make their marketing or their sales or whatever they are doing authentic? The common solution is hilarious to me. They go out and do customer research and they ask the customers, what would we have to tell you for us to be authentic? This entirely misses the point. You can't ask others what you have to do to be authentic. Being authentic means that you already know. What does a politician say when told to be more authentic? How does a leader act more authentically? Without a clear understanding of why, the instruction is completely useless. What authenticity means is that your golden circle is in balance. It means that everything you say and everything you do, you actually believe. This goes for management as well as the employees. Only when that happens can the things you say and do be viewed as authentic. Apple believed that its original Apple computer and its Macintosh challenged the dominant IBM DOS platforms. Apple believes its iPod and iTunes products are challenging. The status quo is the status quo in the music industry. And we all understand why Apple does what it does. It is because of that mutual understanding that we view those Apple products as authentic. Dell introduced MP3 players and PDAs in an attempt to enter the small electronics business. We don't know what Dell's why is. We have no certainty about what the company believes or why it produced those products beyond self-gain and a desire to capitalize on new market segment. These products are not authentic. It is not that Dell could not enter other markets. It certainly has the knowledge and ability to make good products, but its ability to do so without a clear understanding of why is what makes it much harder and much more expensive. Just producing high quality products and marketing them does not guarantee success. Authenticity cannot be achieved without clarity of why, and authenticity matters. Ask the best salesman what it takes to be a great salesman. They will always tell you that it helps when you really believe in the product you are selling. What does belief have to do with the sales job? Simple. When salesmen actually believe in the things they are selling, then the words that come out of their mouths are authentic. When belief enters the equation, passion exudes from the salesman. It is this authenticity that produces the relationships upon which all the best sales organizations are based. Relationships also build trust, and with trust comes loyalty. Absent a balanced golden circle means no authenticity, which means no strong relationships, which means no trust, and you are back at square one, selling on price, service, quality, or features. You are back to being like everyone else. Worse, without that authenticity, companies restart to manipulation. Scroll up. Yeah. Manipulation, pricing, promotions, peer pressure, fear, take your pick. Effective, of course, but not for the short term. Being authentic is not a requirement for success, but it is if you want that success to be a lasting success. Again, it goes back to why authenticity is when you say and you do the things you actually believe. But if you don't know why the organization or the products exist on a level beyond what you do, then it is impossible to know if the things you say or do are consistent with your why. Without why, and at any attempt at authenticity will almost always be inauthentic. The right order. After you have clarity of why, are disciplined and accountable to your own values and guiding principles, and are consistent in all you say and do, the final step is to keep it all in the right order. Just like that little apple marketing example I used earlier, simply changing the order of the information, starting with why, change the impact of the masses. The words are important. They provide the tangible proof of the why. But why must come first? Why the why provides the context for everything else. As you will see over and over in all the cases and examples in this book, whether in leadership, decision making, or communication, starting with why has a profound and long lasting impact on the result. Starting with why is what inspires people to act. If you don't know why, you can't know how. Rolling, Rolling King, a San Antonio businessman, has the idea to take what Pacific Southwest was doing in California and bring it to Texas to start an airline that flew short haul flights between Dallas, Houston, and Antonio. He had recently gone through a long and messy divorce and turned to the one man he trusted to help him get his idea on the ground. His wild turkey drinking, chain smoking, divorce lawyer, Hub Keller. In nearly every day, King and Keller were opposites. King, a numbers guy, was notoriously gruff and awkward, while Keller was gregarious and likable. At first, Keller called King's idea a dumb one, but by the end of the evening, King had successfully inspired him with his vision, and Keller agreed to consider coming on board. It would take 4 years, however, before scroll up, Southwest Airlines would make its first flight from Dallas Love Field to Houston. Southwest did not invent the concept of a low-cost airline. Pacific Southwest Airlines pioneered the industry. Southwest even copied their name. Southwest had no first mover's advantage. Braniff International Airways, Texas International Airlines, and Continental Airlines were already serving the Texas market, and no one was eager to give up on any ground. But Southwest was not built to be an airline, it was built to champion a cause. They just happened to use an airline to do it. In the early 1970s, only 15% of the traveling population traveled by air. At that rate, the market was small enough to scare off most would-be competitors to the big airlines. But Southwest was not interested in competing against everyone else for 15% of the traveling population. Southwest cared about the other 85%. Back then, if you asked Southwest whom their competition was, they would have told you, we compete against the car and, and the bus. But what they meant was, we are the champion for the common man. That was why they started the airline. That was their cause, their purpose, the reason for existing. How they went about building their company was not a strategy developed by a high-priced management consultancy. It was not a collection of best practices that they saw other companies doing. Their guiding principles and values stemmed directly from their why and were more common sense than anything else. In the 1970s, air travel was expensive, and if Southwest was going to be the champion for the common man, they had to be cheap. It was an imperative. And in a day and age when air travel was elitist, back then people wore ties on planes as the champion for the common man. Southwest had to be fun. It was an imperative in a time when air travel was complicated, with different prices depending on whom you booked. Southwest had to be simple. If they were to be accessible to the other 85%, then simplicity was an imperative. At the time, Southwest had two price categories: nights, weekends, and daytime. That was it. Cheap, fun, and simple. That's how they did it. That's how they were to champion the cause of the common man. The result of their action was made tangible in the things they said and did, their product, the people they hired, their culture, and their marketing. You are now free to move about the country, they said in their advertising. That's much, that's much more than a tagline. That's a cause. And it is a cause looking for followers. Those who could relate to Southwest, those who saw themselves as average Joes, now had an alternative to the big airlines. And those who believed what Southwest was believed became fiercely loyal to the company. They felt scroll up. They felt Southwest was a company that spoke directly to them and directly for them. More importantly, they felt that flying Southwest said something about who they were as people. The loyalty that developed with their customers had nothing to do with price. Price was simply one of the ways the airline brought their cause to life. Howard Putnam, one of the former president of Southwest Airlines, likes to tell a story of a senior executive of a large company who approached him after an event. The executive said he always flew one of the big airlines when he traveled on business. He had to. It was a company mandate. And although he had accumulated many frequent flyer miles on the other airline and money was no object, when he flew for himself or with his family, he always flew Southwest. He loves Southwest. Putman says with a grin when he tells the story, just because Southwest is cheap does not mean it only appeals to those with less money. Cheap is just one of the things. Southwest does that helps us understand what they believe. What Southwest has achieved is the stuff of business folklore. As a result of why they do what they do, and because they are highly disciplined in how they do it, they are the most profitable airline. Yeah, somebody want to take up?
Okay, I will continue from here. So those
Okay.
who want to read next, please you put your name in the chat session so that we can hand over to someone. I think we can go till reading 7:45 today. Thanks, Manoj. So, there has never been a year that they didn't turn a profit, including after September 11 and during the oil crisis of the 1970s and early 2000s. Everything Southwest says and does is authentic. Everything about them reflects the original cause King and Keller set out to champion decades earlier. It has never veered. Fast forward about 30 years, United Airlines and Delta Airlines looked at the success of Southwest and decided they needed a low cost product to compete and share in Southwest success. We got to get us one of those, they thought. In April 2003, Delta launched their low cost alternative song. Less than a year later, United launched TED. In both cases, they copied how Southwest did it. They made TED and song cheap, fun, and simple. And for anyone who ever flew TED or song, they were cheap, they were fun, and they were simple. But both failed. United and Delta were both old hands in the airlines business and were every bit qualified to add whatever products they wanted to adapt to market conditions or sales opportunities. The problem was not with what they did. The problem was no one knew why Song or TED existed. They may have even been better than Southwest, but it didn't matter. Sure, people flee them, but there are always reasons people do business with you that have nothing to do with you. That people can be motivated to use your products is not the issue. The problem was that too few were loyal to the brands without a sense of why. Song and Ted were just another couple of airlines. Without a clear sense of why, all that people had to judge them on was a price or convenience. They were commodities that had to rely on manipulations to build a business. An expensive proposition. United abandoned its entry into the low cost airline business just 4 years after it began, and Delta's song also took its last flight only 4 years after its launch. It is a false assumption that differentiations happens in how and what you do. Simply offering a high quality product with more features or better services or a better price does not create difference. So guarantees masses. Differentiation 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 happens in why and how you do it. Southwest is not the best airlines in the world. No, are they always the cheapest? They have fewer routes than many of their competition and don't even fly outside the continental United States. What they do is not always significantly better, but why they do it is crystal clear and everything do proves it. There are many ways to motivate people to do things, but loyalty comes from the ability to inspire people. I would like to read this line again. There are many ways to motivate people to do things, but loyalty comes from the ability to inspire people. Only when the why is clear and when people believe what you believe can a true loyal relationship develop. Manipulation and inspiration are similar, but not the same. Manipulation and inspiration both tackle the limbic brain. Aspirational messages, fear of peer pressures, all push us to decide one way or one way or another by appealing to our irrational desires to playing on our fears. But it's when the emotional feelings goes deeper than insecurity or uncertainty or dreams that the emotional reaction aligns with how we view ourselves. It is at that point that Behavior moves from being motivated to inspired. When we are inspired, the decisions we make have how more to do with who we are and less to do with the companies or the products we are buying. When our decisions feel right, we are willing to pay a premium or suffer an inconvenience for those products or services. This has nothing to do with price or quality. Price, quality, features, and service are important, but they are the cost of entry in business today. It is those visceral limbic feelings that create loyalty. And it is that loyalty that gives Apple or Harley Davidson or Southwest Airlines or Martin Luther King or any other great leader who commands a following such a huge advantage. Without a strong base of loyal followers, the pressure increased to manipulate, to compete, or differentiate based on price, quality, service, or features. Loyalty, real motivational value, exists in the brain of the buyer, not the seller. Loyalty, real motivation value exists in the brain of the buyer, not the seller. Nice line. It is hard to make a case to someone that your products or services are important in their lives based on external factors that you have defined as valuable. Remember the Ferrari versus the Honda. However, if your voice and their voice correspond, then they see your products and services as tangible ways to prove what they believe. When, why, how, and what are in balance, authenticity achieved, and the buyer feels fulfilled. When they are out of balance, stress or uncertainty exists. When that happens, the decision we make will also be out of balance. Without why, the buyer is easily motivated by aspiration or fear. At that point, it is the buyer who is at the greatest risk of ending up being inauthentic. If they buy something that doesn't clearly embody their own sense of why, then those around them have little evidence to paint a clear and accurate picture of who they are. The human animal is a social animal. We are very good at sensing subtleties in behavior and judging people accordingly. We get good feelings and bad feelings about companies, just as we get good feelings and bad feelings about people. There are some people we just feel we can trust, and others we just feel we can't. Those feelings also manifest when organizations try to quote us. One moment. Our ability to feel one way or another toward a person or an organization is the same. What changes is who is talking to us, but it is always a single individual who is listening. Even when a company airs its message on TV, for example, no matter how many people see the commercial, it is always and only an individual that can receive the message. This is the value of the golden circle. It provides a way to communicate consistent with how individuals see information. For this reason, an organization must be clear about its purpose, cause, or belief, and make sure that everything they say and do is consistent with the authentic to the belief. If the level of the golden circle are in balance, all those who share the organization's view of the world will be drawn to it and its products like a month of light bulb. One moment, let me check how much pages are mine. 89. One, two, three, four. Okay. Okay, five pages are there. We can go ahead. Okay. Anyone want to lead? Suman, yeah, I hand over to you. Please.
Yeah, thank you.
Doing business.
Uh, from where? Please mark the line.
Doing business like dating.
I can't see this line.
Doing business like dating.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Doing
Doing
business is like dating. I am extremely rich. I have a big house.
no. I would like to use you,
Uh,
I think
Yeah,
I
is
would
it
like
okay?
to introduce you to your advanced children.
I can't say this line actually.
You can't see it. Can you? What about others can see?
Now
I
I
would
can
like
see
to
part
introduce
three.
you. I
Part
would
three.
like
Actually,
to.
your screen is moving late, so there is some latency.
Yeah, now I can see. Doing business is
Oh.
like dating.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to introduce you to our imaginary friend Brad. Brad is going on a date tonight. It is a first date and he is pretty excited. He thinks the woman he is about to meet is really beautiful and that she makes a great prospect. Brad sits down for dinner and he starts talking. I am extremely rich. I have a big house and I drive a beautiful car. I know lots of famous people. I am on TV all the time, which is good because I am good looking. I have actually done pretty well for myself. The question is, does Brad get a second date? The way we communicate and the way we behave is all a matter of biology. That means we can make some comparisons between the things we do in our social lives and the things we do in our professional lives. After all, people are people. To learn how to apply why to a business situation, you need not look much farther than how we act on a date. Because in reality, there is no difference between sales and dating. In both circumstances, you sit across a table from someone and hope to say enough of the right things to close the deal. Of course, you could always opt for a manipulation or two, a fancy dinner, dropping hints of tickets that you have or whom you know. Depending on how badly you want to close the deal, you could tell them anything they want to hear. Promise them the world, and the odds are good that you will close the deal. Once, scroll up, maybe twice. With time, however, maintaining that relationship will cost more and more. No matter the manipulations you choose, this is not the way to build a trusting relationship. In Brad's case, it is obvious that the date did not go well. The odds are not good that he will get a second date, and he is certainly not done a good job of laying down the foundation to build a relationship. Ironically, the woman's initial interest may have been generated based on those elements. She agreed to go on the date because her friends told her that Brad was good looking and that he had a good job and that he knew a lot of famous people. Even though all those things may be true, what's don't drive decision making? What should be used as proof of why? and the date plainly fell flat. Let's send Brad out again. But this time, he's going to start with why. You know what I love about my life? He starts this time. I get to wake up every day to do something I love. I get to inspire people to do the things that inspire them. It is the most wonderful thing in the world. In fact, the best part is trying to figure out all the different ways I can do that. It really is amazing. And believe it or not, I have actually been able to make a lot of money from it. I bought a big house and a nice car. I get to meet lots of famous people and I get to be on TV all the time, which is fun because I am good looking. I am very lucky that I am doing something that I love. I have actually been able to do pretty well because of it. This time, the chances Brad will get a second date, assuming that whoever is sitting across from him believes what he believes, went up exponentially. More importantly, he's also laying a good foundation for a relationship, one based on values and beliefs. He said all the same things as on the first date. The only difference is he started with why, and all the what's, all the tangible benefits served as proof of that why. Scroll up. Now consider how most companies do business. Someone sits down across a table from you. They have heard you are a good prospect and they start talking. Our company is extremely successful. We have beautiful offices. You should stop by and check them out sometime. We do business with all the biggest companies and brands. I'm sure you have seen our advertising. We are actually doing pretty well. In business, like a bad date, many companies work so hard to prove their value without saying why they exist in the first place. You will have to do more than show your resume before someone finds you appealing, however. But that is exactly what companies do. They provide you with a long list of their experience, what they have done, whom they know, all with the idea that you will find them so desirable that you will have to drop everything to do business with them. People are people, and the biology of decision making is the same, no matter whether it is a personal decision or a business decision. It is obvious that in the dating scenario, it was a bad date. So, why would we expect it to be any different in the business scenario? Like on a date, it is exceedingly difficult to start building a trusting relationship with a potential customer or client by trying to convince them of all the rational features and benefits. Those things are important, but they serve only to give credibility to a sales pitch and allow buyers to rationalize their purchase decision. As with all decisions, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And what you do serves as the tangible proof of why you do it. But unless you start with why, all the people have to go on are the rational benefits. And chances are you won't get a second date. Here is the alternative. You know what I love about our company? Every single one of us comes to work every day to do something we love. We get to inspire people to do the things that inspire them. It is the most wonderful thing in the world. In fact, the fun part is trying to figure out all the different ways we can do that. It really is amazing. The best part is it is also good for business. We do really well. We have beautiful offices. You should stop by sometime to see. We work with some of the biggest companies. I'm sure you have seen our ads. We are actually doing pretty well. Now, how certain are you that the second pitch was better than the first? Next is 3 degrees of certainty. When we can only provide a rational basis for a decision, when we can only point to tangible elements or rational measurements, the highest level of confidence we can give is, I think this is the right decision. That would be biological accurate because we are activating the neocortex, the thinking part of the brain. At a neocortical level, we can verbalize our thoughts. This is what is happening when we spend all the time sifting through the pros and cons, listening to all the differences between plasma or LCD, Dell versus HP. When we make gut decisions, the highest level of confidence we can offer is the decisions feel right, even if it flies in the face of all the facts and figures. Again, this is biologically accurate because gut, scroll up please, because gut decisions happen in the part of the brain that controls our emotions, not language. Ask the most successful entrepreneurs and leaders what their secret is, and invariably, they all say the same thing: I trust my gut. The time things went wrong, they will tell you, I listened to what others were telling me, even though it did not feel right. I should have trusted my gut. It is good strategy, except it is not scalable. The gut decision can only be made by a single person. Scroll up. It's a perfectly good strategy for an individual or small organization. But what happens when success necessitates that more people be able to make decisions that feel right? That is when the power of why can be fully realized. The ability to put a why into words provides the emotional context for decisions. It offers greater confidence than I think it is right. It is more scalable than I feel it is right. When you know your why, the highest level of confidence you can offer is I know it is right. When you know the decision is right, not only does it feel right, but you can also rationalize it and easily put it into words. The decision is fully balanced. The rational, what what's offer proof for the feeling of why. If you can verbalize the feeling that drove the gut decision, if you can clearly state your why, you will provide a clear context for those around you to understand why that decision was made. If the decision is consistent with facts and figures, then those facts and figures serve to reinforce the decision. This is balance. And if the decision flies in the face of all the facts and figures, then it will highlight the other factors that need to be considered. It can turn a controversial decision from a debate into a discussion. My former business partner, for example, would get upset when I turned away business. I would tell him that a potential client didn't feel right. That would frustrate him to no end because the client's money was as good as everyone's else. He would tell me he could not understand the reason for my decision, and worse, I could not explain it. It was just a feeling I had. In contrast, these days I can easily explain why I am in business to inspire people to do things that inspire them. If I were to make the same decision now for the same gut reason, there is no debate because everyone is clear. why the decision was made. We turn away business because those potential clients don't believe what we believe and they are not interested in anything to do with inspiring people. With a clear sense of why, a debate to take on a bad fit client turns into a discussion of whether the imbalance is worth the short term gain they may give us. The goal of business should not be to do business with anyone who simply wants what you have. It should be to focus on the people who believe what you believe. When we are selective about doing business only with those who believe in our why, trust emerges. Is the chapter over?
Okay, thank you, Suman. Yeah, and with this, the chapter is over, and we are getting into that the third part from tomorrow. Leaders media following. Okay, thank you so much, Manish ji and Suman, for a wonderful leading today. Let me stop
It's
sharing
a pleasure.
and delve into discussion of today's topic. Okay, now I would like to ask who wants to go first to share your part or share your learnings of today's reading part.
My core takeaway from today's learning was that why is the foundation from where we have to start. But why is not enough only. Where, how, what, these are also to be in balance. But first, yes, that's true. That first, why should be clear, then automatically all other things get in alignment.
Yeah, Suman, I think I completely agree with that. So the clarity of why and discipline of how and consistency of what are that the major ingredients for anything you want to convey to someone or you want to sell a product or influence someone. These are very important. These all start with that why. Yeah, that is what we have read in today's chapter from that the airline business. Even there are the successful airline business, they were not able to compete that low market. I think that the 80% of the market, those who are that low, they were already in the business, but still they had struggled with that, competing with that other product because of the clear why. It is not that I think by giving a cheap product or by giving that the lower cost product we can attract new audience. That really, I think, with that example, it's really got failed. People come with that the purpose, or people come with that the why part is very clear, whether it's a business. I think that was a very nicely quoted about the relationship. The guy who wants to have a date with a girl, and if that's why is clear, how he is projecting, and if the why is not clear, how it is translating. Yeah, when we share, or when we inspired with that, whatever we want to share, if you protect like that, hey, I'm this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, that is not going to make or influence people, whether it's a business, whether it is a personal things. When we add with that why and making other people study how they are going to get benefit or how they are going to get influence or get more benefit on from your why, that way we can attract whether it is a business or people. Yes, we would like to hear from others. Yes, Manish
Yeah,
ji. Yes,
when
Viren.
our
Yes,
why is clear, then the mode of conversation changes.
yeah, yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, Viren. Yeah, you are audible.
So I like the example of dating scenario, like the two
Mhm.
cases in the first, the like I don't remember the name of the person, but he was articulating what is available with them, what is available with him, and in the second, why was very clear for that person. The same scenario when we have a like, so if we are facing any interview for a job profile, right? The same scenario happens with that purpose also. So companies usually ask question like, so there are two type of companies. So first type of company will ask you the question like why you want to change your current organization. So that is the first why. So and the second is some companies ask like why you want to join our organization. So this is second why, and this two whys is complete. Though they both are important in terms of why, but they both are very different because it depends on what factors you are focusing. Like in the first, like you are judging the person. Like when you ask person like why you want to change your organization, you are judging the person based on their decision making abilities. But in the second case, like why you want to join our organization, you are trying to reflect on what candidates is looking very great than their current organization. So it will be like in a broader perspective, I think. So why is everywhere, but why is also different at case basis, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely true, Viren. Yeah, I think you nicely brought up with that the interview basis we have heard are one of the famous questions these things asked in this interview. But I think sometimes I think why they're asking these questions. I think of course we need better salary, or of course we need something a better environment. But the way how we portray why I am leaving from the current organization and why I am going to join this organization, if we make it clear, that is very attracting them, the interviewer, as well as I think we also have clear about it. Why do you want a new company? Nicely put it across this perspective, Viren.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Samina. Would you like to share your part about today's leading? Hi, Samina. Is this the first time you're joining, or have you joined us before? Okay. So, Manishji, would you like to share anything?
Yes, many things to share actually. Yeah.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I have traveled worldwide through different airlines, Southwest also, and so many other airlines. And in business, like you keep traveling, you meet a lot of different people. So and the reason that why factor is that why I choose Southwest. The point is, they give service beyond customer expectations. See, one thing is okay because the author mentioned that they have a like ticketing price for daytime, late, early hours, late evening hours, and things like that. So basically, their target is to target the major part of the society, like the 85% people. So that is there, and the the point was that they want to give maximum people the benefit of flying, right? And that's what he was saying, that he is competing with the train and the bus and things like that. Okay, so basically, he was not like just focusing on competing with other airlines, but he was also focusing. The company was also focusing on giving a great customer experience, loyalty, customer service, right? Because people take actions based on emotions, right? Say I know a lot of people in the society, right? But sometimes some people make a difference by how they treat you, right? By giving adding value to you, understanding your emotions, right? So they give you a total good experience, not just giving you cost benefit or things like that. So when you say why factor is, it it is fully connected with your belief system. That why, let's say I'm reading the book in the morning, right? Why I'm doing that? I'm not reading for my just for monetary benefit that it will help me in my business, in my life. I want to live a great life. I want to learn from people experience of life so that I can use that experience in so many different ways. See, money is one part, but money cannot buy you for complete happiness. And there is a research in America also that beyond a certain salary, your happiness does not increase in life. It happens with your overall experience of life. Your quality of friends, quality of society you lives in, and the quality and the belief system you have, your authenticity, your I would say your loyalty, how well you are connected with people. Because when you it's just like what you put in is what you get. What the same like it's just like garbage in, garbage out, right? So quality in, quality out. So basically, by expressing the this example of Southwest Airlines, see, Southwest Airlines is focused not just on the benefit, on the profit. The company want to give a benefit to the like most of the like major percentage of the society by running a low cost airline. And at the same time they are also giving good service also, like giving a good customer flying experience, like giving good customer service, be flexible with their like giving services, maybe helping the customer in so many different ways. you know because people are run by emotions, right? So you have to make the person feel happy to run business. The customer should feel that you are available for them when you need them the most, right? Not just for the sake of money, but being loyal to your loyal to your customers, and having a good value system. So then that way you get a customer for life basically. So the why factor is fully connected with your value system, belief system, and your emotions, giving a good world class experience to whatever you do in life. So why factor is directly connected with your emotions, and emotion is your a frequency of your vibration. So if you are in good emotions, you will always be with full of energy. Your vibration is high. So then you will attract the similar kind of things in life, same people, situation, ideas, and so many things like that. And that's how our mind works also. Our mind is run by our emotions, right? So if our emotions are good, our mind will work perfectly. So working with Y factor is, getting the best, like getting the best out of yourself, what you are best capable of. So basically, it's all about gut feeling, emotions, why I want to do something. Because this is my purpose of life. I want to make a difference in my life for myself and for the people that I'm connected with. So whatever I read in books, I share with other people also. That okay, this is what I'm learning. Hey, you can. I keep sharing my ideas, thoughts, and things like that. So I see people getting benefited from me, not just for the sake of money, just for because I feel myself loyal to the people, right? I believe in that value system. Like so, I think this Y factor is a very strong foundation for whatever we do in life. I think, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Manishji, for the detailed explanation about the Y factor, how it influenced you, and from today's leading. Yeah. So today, in this chapter, the clarity, discipline, and consistency, that has explained detailed in how the why is more important, how we have to focus on why than clue how and yeah, clue how and what. Anyone wants to end with your sharing? Okay. Mhm.